Hello and welcome to my creative space. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Welcome to another DIY video. If you're not already, I would love for you to subscribe and join this creative squad. In today's video, I put together my favorite Easter DIYs from last year. I hope you enjoy, so let's jump right in. For this project, I'm going to be using these pumpkin light signs I picked up during fall from Dollar Tree. I'm also going to use some paint, yellow, this bluish, greenish, and pink. I'm also going to be using some ribbons, some lace, and also some raffia and these little cottontails. Okay, first things first, I'm going to start by removing the stems and the little raffia bows that this came with. Once they are all removed, I'm going to sand it down to remove the lettering, the glitter on it. Now, I switched to this sanding machine because it's going to be faster, but you can definitely do it with a sanding sponge. Once that is done, we're going to move on to the next step, which is the fun step. It's painting. And as you can see, I'm using a lighter pink, and that's because I mixed some white paint in that hot pink color, and I just wanted it a little bit lighter than the original color I showed you. Okay, I also end up deciding to add some baking soda to the greenish, bluish, and the pink because the Waverly yellow paint, well, it's actually from Waverly and it's chalk paint. So I was like, I want it to look similar. So I thought just adding the baking soda will make it look like chalk paint, which it did, but it did give me some problems later on, and you will see here in a little bit. Okay, as you can see, I painted these completely on one side, gave it one good coat. I do go back and give it a second coat, but I won't be showing that, but yes, I did. And then I was trying to hurry up the process, so I grabbed my hair dryer to dry the paint so we can paint the back and move forward. Okay, once that is put to the side to dry, I had these bunnies I picked up from Dollar Tree last year. I don't know if they have them, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna have them again. But the point is, I'm using the ears on this to guide me, and I'm gonna be cutting 3 pairs of these ears, and here they are after I cut them off camera. Now, originally I was going to use this burlap ribbon from Dollar Tree, but the ears were a little too big, and what I wanted to do was not gonna work, so I was just going to use something to cover the ears, and I wanted it to be burlap, so I used this bean stack that I've been using throughout several DIYs. If you've seen my videos, you probably know that I've used it a few times. But anyway, so I cover the ear, I just glue it with hot glue and then cut around it, and then we have our ear covered completely in burlap. Okay, after I did the other ones off camera, now it's time to put this little cute bunny together. I'm going to be creating a little bow to cover up the ears. This is definitely an optional step, but I think it looks really, really cute after it's done. So I'm going to take different ribbons. This lace one, I had it already. Somebody gifted to me. And I also have some raffia from Dollar Tree. So I'm going to be creating kind of like how you would do a tassel. Just wrap it around your fingers as much as you think you need, and then tie it in the middle, and then just trim the sides to make it a little bit more spiky. And then this is how easy this bow is. And then with the lace, I just create a simple little bow. I tie it how I would tie my shoes. That's the best I can come up with. And then I'm just gonna crisscross this other ribbon from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to add this colorful ribbon, and this colorful one is actually from Hobby Lobby, and I had it for a while. I decided to use it because it goes with the colors I used. But anyway, now it's time to just stack all of these bows that we created, and that completes this bow. Now I used my Cricut machine to cut these words using some vinyl, and I spelled the word hop, and I'm just going to stick it on there. Just make sure it's centered. Here is where I realized that adding the baking soda wasn't a great idea because this vinyl will not stick on it for my life. So I end up having to add some Mod Podge at the bottom. I didn't record it, I'm sorry, but I end up having to use different glue to glue these words on it, which it was totally unnecessary. But anyway, once all of them were done, I am going to glue the little cottontails to these little signs. And then after that, all that's left is to glue the bunnies and the bows together. And how adorable are these? I am totally in love with this DIY. It might be my favorite one in this project or in this video. But yeah, all that's left is just to add some hot glue to the ears, and then some more to glue the bow. And that is all for this project. I think it's so easy and turned out so cute. Now let's take a look at the end result. For the next project, I'm going to be using this ring wreath that I picked up a while ago, this hat. I'm also going to be using these bunnies. I'm only going to use one. These eggs that I'm recycling from last year, but definitely you can find them at Dollar Tree. All of this is from Dollar Tree again. Some flowers, some greenery, and now let's get started. I'm going to start with the eggs. Now I want to paint these the same colors I used on my last project, so I'm going to be using some pink as well as some green, and I'm gonna paint 3 pink ones, 3 green ones, and then I will be doing the rest yellow. Once they are completely painted, we're gonna put them to the side. Now my little bunnies here, you'll see 4 of them, but I actually only end up using 1. The color is Batlet Slipper. Any other information will be in my description box. Okay, now I'm going to take this hat and basically I'm going to cut strips off of this. I'm just going to go around it. I'm going to be using this here in a little bit, but I'm just going to go around it. Once I get enough of it, I'm going to glue it to this wreath. Okay, definitely this step is optional. The reason why I did this is because I don't have any spray paint that I can use or I like to go with the style I needed. So I decided to cover it with this hat, but definitely you don't have to do this. You could spray paint it or you could leave it as is. This is just my personal choice, but I think it did turn out amazing. But I just glue it around, and then once that was done, I'm going to trim it once I get to where I started, and that is it for this part. Okay, next, I just wanted to show you how much I had left. Anyway, now it's time for the greenery. I'm going to take 4 of these from Dollar Tree, and these are so cute. These are the new ones for this season. I picked up a few of them, and I'm going to be using 4 of these now. I'm just going to take a zip tie, and I'm going to tie both of these together. And as you can see, I do trim part of it because we don't need that long stem on there, but definitely optional. Once that is done, I will trim off what I don't need from the zip tie, and here is one pick. Okay, now I'm going to take these other roses. They're also from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to be using 6 of them. And I'm going to be placing 3 of these roses on each of these little bouquets that we created. I just stuff them on there, and then you can add some hot glue if you feel like you have to add glue to secure them. I didn't, but it worked for me. Okay, next I'm going to zip tie these 2 bouquets into place, and I'm going to use again some zip ties. Once they are placed there and make sure that they're really tight, I'm going to trim them. Now I'm going to be creating a bow for my wreath, and I use the lace that I have on hand, but you can definitely use ribbon or any other material you might have. I went with this color because in this lace because I really love how this style looks. And then I created this other bow. I'm actually recycling from a different project. I created just exactly how I do all my bows, but anyway, I'm just gluing both of them. Now I'm just going to add the little eggies that we painted. I'm going to hot glue them into place. I kind of just played around, see where I want them, and then I just started gluing them. I glue 4 on each side, and I absolutely love how this is looking. Now you see the little bunny right there. We're gonna hot glue it into place now. And now I am going to add some more of this burlap ribbon, and we're going to glue one end under our greenery. And then as you can see, I'm going to flip it right now so you can see exactly where I'm gluing it. I'm kind of just shoving it under there to make sure. And then I'm going to now grab my hot glue gun and then glue it into place. Once it's glued, I will be wrapping it on the other end, grabbing some hot glue again and making sure that it's all is even and it's not going to be moving around. And then I'll trim my my ribbon, and then I'll glue it into place, make sure it's secure. Once it's glued, I use once again my Cricut machine to create the word welcome, or to cut the word, and then I'm just going to be placing them on the ribbon. And how gorgeous is this? How easy. Now that is all for this project. I'm taking these 2 tags that I picked up recently from Dollar Tree, and I'm using some ribbon from Dollar Tree, as well as some twine and some paint, the same paint I used on my last projects, and I'm also going to be using some vinyl. Okay, I'm going to start with the tags. I'm removing the hangers off of this and I'm going to be distressing them. One of them will be pink. The other one will be the greenish, bluish color. I did dilute it, the greenish one, because I wanted it a little bit lighter, but definitely optional on the colors. Okay, once I am done with distressing these items, we're gonna let them dry. Now that they're dried, I'm taking my vinyl cuts and I'm going to be painting the bunny, but definitely you could cut it and just use some vinyl. I wanted to paint it because I wanted it to be a little bit more on the matte side, so that's what I did. I end up painting my bunny the lavender color from Waverly, but the colors will be listed in my description box. Then I'm adding happy to one of the tags, and how cute is this? And then the other one is going to say Easter, and here it is, and this one's gonna have some bunny ears. How cute is that? Okay, now we're going to remove the stencil we created, and as you can see, it did peel off some of this paint off, so I'm going to go in with some brushes and kind of just try to fix it, but definitely we're going more for the rustic look, so it's gonna be fine. Okay, I noticed the wording was kind of lost in here, and I definitely didn't want to use black for my words, so I end up grabbing this marker that it's actually an erase marker, dry erase board marker. I can't speak, sorry. And then I just outlined the words, and I love them a lot more. Once that is done, I am going to remove, we forgot about the tail on this bunny. How could we? Now I'm going to take some paper and I'm going to glue it to the back of my tag, because we want to cover all that on there and make sure that it looks clean and nice. Once it's glued on there, you know the drill. We're gonna go with our sanding sponge and we're removing the excess that we don't need. And now to make sure we clear the hole, I'm just poking it with a skewer. And now it's time to add the twine. I'm not gonna say twine rope anymore because somebody told me I'm not supposed to be saying that, so there is. Anyways, now that that is done, I'm going to glue my two tags together so they can be together and they can together say Happy Easter. And now we're going to be creating a bow. I am going to use two pieces of the pink one, and I'm just going to find the middle, glue it to the middle, and then kind of just pinch it in the middle, add some more glue, and then clip it in place to make it stay flat. Once that is done, I did all the others off camera. I'm going to stack the same colors together. So I'm doing the green together. Now it's time for the pink. And then once I glue it on there, I'm going to do the other ribbon on top. And then I'll zip tie both of them, or I guess the three of them together, so they stay together and in place. Then I decided to create a bow using my raffia. And I did it the exact same way we did the other one. Just in this one, I used the zip tie because it's going to be bigger and it was going to be easier to tie it. And then we're gonna, once that is done, I'll trim the edges. Definitely optional, you could leave it how it is. I think it makes a difference, so I'm gonna cut the edges and make it a little bit more fluffy and spiky. Now that that is done, I'm going to use some hot glue and place it right in the middle. You could also zip tie it. I didn't feel the need to do that, but what I am going to do is use some more raffia to wrap all of these together, and I'm just going to use some hot glue to secure it, and definitely works. As you can see now, I'm just trimming what I don't need, and then I'll just hold it in for a few more seconds to make sure it's dry. And then once that is done, I'm going to glue my tag hangers, and I'm gluing the two each one by itself, and then once they are done glued together, I will glue them together to make sure that, you know, it's not like they're gonna go anywhere, but I wanted everything to look nice. And so that once that is done, I will glue it to the back of the bow, and I'll add some hot glue, and I'll cut a little green piece of the ribbon and I'll just glue it on top of it. This is going to make sure that it's going to be secure. Once that is done, I decided to create these two little raffia bows because I felt like they were needing something, and I really love how these turned out. And now I'm just going to trim the tails to make sure that I can see the words. And that's honestly all for this project. Now let's take a look at the end result. Creative Squad, thank you so much for watching. I'm just jumping here really quick. If you are new to my channel, hi, my name is Wendy. I love sharing my creative space with you. If you are not subscribed to my channel, I would hope you consider subscribing. And I just want to let you know that I'm also on Instagram and TikTok. Be sure to check them out because I do try to post daily over there and a lot of behind the scenes. And I know we're here for DIY, so let's jump back into the video. For this project, I'm using this bunny wood cutout from Dollar Tree. I'm also going to use this scrap piece of wood. You could use a Dollar Tree sign. I'm also going to use some floral foam, some greenery, these cute, really sparkly eggs, and I'm also going to use some white and some Waverly wax. Okay, first things first, I'm going to paint this piece of wood. As you can see, it was previously used in another project. So all I'm going to do is give it one good coat of white paint and then we'll put it to the side to dry. Okay, now I am going to remove the ears off of this bunny because we're going to be painting those a different color. Just if you do this project and you want to do this step, be careful with that because they're really easy to break. As you can see, I kind of struggle, but they end up coming off. So now after that is done, I am going to go ahead and paint my bunny. I am going to give it a very good coat of paint. Actually, I think I gave it 2 coats of paint, but it all depends on what kind of paint you're using. So I do front and back, and then I'll put it to the side. Now for the ears, I am going to use my Waverly wax and I'm going to stain them. I am using just a regular paper towel for this process. It was really easy and simple to do. I wax both the ears and the little tail, and then I'll leave them to the side for the next step. Okay, the next step is to glue back the ears and the tail. So I will be using hot glue for this process. I didn't have any problems. Everything glued fine. So we're going to glue both of the ears. I'm kind of pushing it down to make sure the glue gets like flat, if that makes any sense. Okay, for the next step, I am going to glue both the rabbit and the wooden piece that is going to be the base. Now I cut my floral foam into these really skinny pieces. I thought it was going to be the best, but honestly, leave them a little bit thicker because I do end up adding more. And as you are gluing the floral foam, make sure that you glue it to both the bunny and the base, because I kind of did double the work because I was just gluing it to the bunny and then later I glue all of it down, which didn't make any sense. I don't know why I did it, but here we are. It ended up working out, so that's good. Okay, after I glue down my floral foam, I am going to use this green moss and I'll add a little bit of hot glue to hold it in place, just to kind of like make sure that it's not going to be flying away everywhere. I want to make sure that some of it stays in place, but of course I don't want to cover up the whole floral foam because I am going to be adding some greenery. Now after that is done, I am going to grab random pieces of greenery I had, and these have been used in many different projects, so they're already cut into pieces, but you could use whatever you have, whatever you like. And here, have fun, add whatever you want. This is what I end up doing with mine. Kind of just added random pieces. I added some lavender, some really cute purple flowers, and you know, it's Easter, spring, have fun, add whatever colors you want. After that, I decided I wanted to add a few of these roses. They are from Dollar Tree, and then I really love these eggs and I've been dying to use them since I bought them. So I'm going to use 4 different colors. As you can see, I'm going to use this really cute blue, and then I'll use pink, purple, and yellow, and I just placed 4 on each side, and I was absolutely in love with them. I love how sparkly they are, and again, I have been dying to use these, and I think this project turned out beautiful. That is all for this project. Now here is the end result. I love how this project turned out. For my next project, I will be using this cute wood cutout bunnies. I'm also going to be recycling this sign that I used in one of my past videos. As you can see, can you remember? Can you tell me which one it is? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm also using this scrap piece of wood, and I will be using some stain as well as some vinyl. Okay, I'm starting with the black sign, and as you can see, it has a pumpkin because it's from Dollar Tree from the fall season. So I want to get rid of that part. So I'll just mark it with a pencil or a pen, and then I'll just cut that piece off with my hacksaw. Any information or any tools or paint will be linked and listed in my description box. Okay, while I stain my lumber, I wanted to let you know that it doesn't have to be lumber. Dollar Tree does sell these long, thick signs that would work perfect for this project. I was trying to find them online. I could not find them, so I will, if I do find them, I will link them down below so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Moving on, now it's time to use our bunnies, and I did use some vinyl in my Cricut machine to cut out my daughter's name, my husband's name, and my name. And I decided to leave my bunnies alone. I did not paint them because I like the color on this wood, and but you're more than welcome to do so if you like, if you end up recreating it. Okay, so I decided to give my cute bunnies personalities according to, you know, each of us. So for my daughter, I decided to create two cute little bows, and I just used the Dollar Tree pink burlap ribbon. I just cut it very skinny, and as you can see, I just tied a really cute little bow, and then I added two of these little roses. These ones I bought them during the Valentine's Day season, so I just glued them on top of the pink little bows that I created. And then for mine, I just did one little bow, and I did one rose in a different color, and that's all I did with mine. And for my husband's, I just left it alone because he's a boy and I'm sure he does not want a bow. Okay, next step is a time to start putting these pieces together. So I grabbed my black sign, and I am going to glue my bunnies into place. I decided to do my daughter in the middle and then my husband and I to the side. And it's just because, you know, she is our daughter, so I wanted her to be in the middle. But, you know, you could arrange them however you want. This is what I decided to do with mine, and as you can see, I'm hot gluing them into place. Once that is done, we are going to move on to personalizing this sign, which, you know, our last name is Duran, so I decided to, you know, personalize it as the Duran's family established 2013. That's when me and my husband got married, so, and that's when we officially started our family. So I decided to add it. I used my Cricut machine to cut these words and or I guess letters. And yeah, I'm just going to edit it. Once that is done, I am going to put these pieces together. So I grabbed an extra piece of wood. You could use tumbling blocks if you don't have this. Just glue it down, and then now I am going to add some more glue to the back piece, and that is where our black sign is going to sit. And that is all for this project. My next project, I'm going to be using this sign, the glass candle holder, as well as this knob, and I'm also going to use some vinyl and some white paint. Okay, I'm going to start with this sign, and I want to remove the words that this has. So I removed the word home. It was kind of like the laser cut out, so I kind of scraped it off as much as I could, and then I went in with some acetone. The black letters came out very easy, but the other part where the word home was glued was kind of hard. I kind of had to use this screwdriver to scrape it off, and at the end it ended up working out. This is what it ended up looking after I removed it. Now we're going to use the other side that it's clean, and I'm going to place my vinyl cutouts or my decals. And as you can see, I just added it on there, and then I kind of messed up and like pulled the letter E, so I had to fix it. And once I did that, we are going to move on to the next. So I decided to make this sign that says Easter Bunny Steps Here. So the word bunny, I end up using this lettering that has some cute ears. And now I am going to paint the knob and my candle holder. As you can see, the candle holder has some spots where it's missing paint, so I'm just going to kind of go over it and paint it again. I'll give it another coat. And the knob, I had it on hand, but you can get any knobs and, you know, paint them in the color you're gonna need them. Okay, now for the candle holder, I need to fill in the hole. So I added a little piece of floral foam, and then I use this spackling to cover up the hole and kind of make it even, because it was not covered up completely. Once it was completely covered, I end up giving it a coat of paint at the top, just so everything is even and it looks like it was meant to be like that. Once it dried, I added some hot glue to the top, and now I'm going to place my cute little sign right on top. And we are almost done. All that's left is to glue the knob into place, and that completes this project. For this project, I will be using this plastic egg. I'm also going to need a base. I will be using this wooden piece I had on hand. You could use the wooden plates that the Dollar Tree sells. I'm also going to use some greenery, some foam, eggs, and I will be using some floral foam, as well as these flower laser cutouts from Dollar Tree, and some white paint. Okay, we're going to start with the egg, and I'm going to be gluing these two pieces together. I don't want these to come apart, so I will be gluing them with some hot glue. Once they are completely glued together, I am going to move on to adding the flowers. These are laser cutouts. It comes in a pack of 6. I am repurposing them from last project. If you saw my last video, then you know exactly what project that is. And if you have not watched it, it will be right here showing up right now. If you're interested, you should go check it out, because I came out with some really cute spring decor ideas. But anyway, this is what our egg is looking like. Now I decided to add some of these Dollar Tree gems. I kind of just placed them randomly, and then once that was done, I remember I was supposed to create a hole at the very top. So here we are. After I glue all my flowers, I had to go in there and kind of cut one of the flowers off, which it ends up looking good anyway. But definitely do this process before you glue anything to your egg. And this tool is like one of those wood engraving tools. I will link it down below if you're interested, but that's what I use to cut the hole. Once that is done, I am going to create a mixture of my white and baking soda. This part is obviously optional. This is what I decided to do with mine, because I wanted it to have more texture and also make the paint look more like a chalk paint. But you can absolutely paint this like any color. You can even use spray paint if you want. But this is what I decided to do with mine. Now, after it's done, I will sit it on top of a stick and a floral foam to make sure it dries without touching anything. Okay, as you can see, I marked the middle on this piece, and then I am taking my drill and I'm creating a hole. This is so we can add our screw. This screw is going to hold the egg into place because it's not flat at the bottom, so we need something to hold it. Now I'm just finding the middle on the egg, and then with the same hot tool, I will create a hole right there, because this is not flat, so it will not stay still if I add some glue. And I didn't want to add some hot glue to it. So now I'm just going to sit it right in the middle, and then now all I'm going to do is screw this screw into place. And after that is done, I am going to sit it, and voila, it's standing. Now it's time to have fun. So I am going to add this floral foam right in the middle, and I did try to glue it to make sure it's not going to be moving. And then once that is done, now I am going to add my greenery. I end up using one of these picks from Dollar Tree. I cut all the pieces individually, and they have this really cute yellow flowers and like a purple lavender. And then I took 4 of the foam eggs, and I added some skewers, and I added them into the arrangement, and that completes this project. For this project, I'm using this 3 cute bunnies. It cost me $3. I did purchase this from Dollar Tree from their new section. I'm using this scrap of wood, and I will be using some greenery as well as some candles and candle holders and this stain. Now I am going to start by staining my lumber. Again, it doesn't have to be lumber. You can use Dollar Tree thicker steins. You could use 1, you could use 2 and glue them together, and it will give you the exact same look. Now, once my wooden piece has dried, all I have to do is attach my bunnies to my base, and I decided to leave my bunnies the way they were because I love the color they have, but feel free to paint them. Now, all you need is something to attach the 2 pieces together. You could use tumbling blocks. I could not find my tumbling blocks, so I am using these other wooden pieces I had. These bunnies were from Dollar Tree, and if you're interested in seeing exactly where I found them, check out the video that will show up right here at the top. Now for the next step, I took 4 glass candle holders. Now you're gonna see 3 and like this metal lid because I did not have the candle holders I needed, so I had to finish the video and then add them later. So I just placed them there so I could start adding the greenery. I cut these pieces individually. I used 2 little picks from Dollar Tree, and you pick your own greenery. This is what I decided to use. Here is what it's looking like once all the greenery is added. Now all that's left is to add this cute foam egg, and feel free to glue them. I decided mine were just going to be loose, and I absolutely love it. Now here is the very next day. I went and bought me 4 candle holders from Dollar Tree, and I love these ones better. And that is all for this project. Creative Squad, thank you so much for watching. This is your friendly reminder to subscribe if you're not already. I do post new videos every week, and be sure to check out Instagram and TikTok for additional content. Now I know you want to go back to the DIY, so let's do it. For this project, I'm going to be using this scrap of wood. I'm also going to use 6 of these Dollar Tree bunnies. I'm also going to need 3 of these different color paints, and I will use some vinyl, but you could use stickers or some decals, whatever you have. And then you also need spackling. As you can see, I'm using that to cover up the little holes that these bunnies have. I'm not gonna hang them, so I don't need the holes. Now, once that is done, it's time to paint. And for this piece of lumber, you could easily use a Dollar Tree sign. They do sell the thicker ones, and this is a 2x1, and I will leave how long this is in my description box, so look for that if you need it. Okay, now I'm going to be painting 2 of these bunnies with this pink color. Honestly, I used a mixture of white paint and this really dark Dollar Tree pink paint because I didn't have a light color. And then I'm gonna use this greenish color to paint 2 of the bunnies, and then the last one this other color, and I want to say this one is Agave, but check the description box for the exact colors. Now once that is done, we're gonna let it dry, and then I'm going to take the lumber piece that we painted white, and I'm going to use vinyl. And actually this vinyl is from Dollar Tree. And I have to say, I really doubted if this vinyl actually worked, because when I was weeding it, the whole thing was coming off and I was like, this is gonna be a fail. But look at this, it actually worked. and it only cost $1.25. I'm shocked. I really doubted this vinyl. I'm gonna pick some more and I'll try them out and I'll let you know. But anyway, as you can see, I also used some white vinyl and I spell happy and I placed each letter in each bunny. And how cute is this? Now all is left is to put these bunnies on top of these piece of lumber that is going to be a sign that is going to spell Happy Easter. And as you can see, those little wooden pieces, they're actually popsicle sticks, and I cut them small and I glued two together, and that's what I used to hold my bunnies down. I still can't find my tumbling blocks. Who knows what happened to them? I'm going to have to pick up some more. But after all, that is all I did with this project. Now let's take a look at the end result. This project, I'm going to be using this cute bunny, and I'll tell you more about it here in a little bit. I'm also going to need this scrap of wood. You could use a Dollar Tree sign, and then I'm gonna use 2 of the Dollar Tree wooden crates and some greenery. I'm also going to use some ribbon and some florals and some Spanish moss, and this is optional. You can switch it up. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is paint my lumber scrap of wood and my 2 wooden crates in the color white. And I'm going to give both of these items a very good coat of paint. You could definitely use a Dollar Tree sign instead of some lumber, but I had this one laying around and it was perfect for this project. Once they are completely painted, we're gonna let them dry. And now I'm going to be using this adorable bunny I picked up from Dollar Tree. It's from their new section, Dollar Tree Plus, I think it's called. And it was $5, but how cute is this? This is supposed to be something you can hang, but I'm going to be using it for something else. First things first, I'm going to remove the little hanger that this comes with. It comes with some beads, and I actually learned this, or I saw Megan do this. Instead of, cutting off the little twine, you can actually take it off from the holes and keeps all the beads together. What? It was mind-blowing and game changer. And now I'm taking this pick from Dollar Tree and I'm going to cut all the pieces individually and kind of play around and see how I want them to lay. Once I figure that out, I'm going to take my ribbons and I'm going to use this pink, really cute ribbon. They're both from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cut it as big as I think I need it, and then I'll fold it in the middle and then glue the 2 ends in the middle and then kind of just pinch it in the middle. And I'm going to do all that with, I'm going to cut 2 pieces of each ribbon. Now I have all my pieces here. Now, instead of gluing them together, I'm going to use this zip tie and I'm going to zip them all together. I recently started doing this instead of gluing them together because I think I can manage them better and you don't have all that hard glue on them. And I don't know, I think I like this technique better. But once I have all my pieces together, this is what the bow looks like, and look how cute this bunny's looking already. Now I'm gonna place my greenery and I will be taking another zip tie and I'm gonna zip both the greenery and the bow. Just make sure that the greenery is long enough, that way it reaches the middle where we're gonna zip it. And once that is done, kind of just move around the greenery to make it look nice, and then trim what you're not gonna need. Now, to cover the middle of this ribbon, I took a smaller piece of ribbon and I'm gonna glue the 2 ends together. I hope you can see it. I didn't realize that the camera was not catching what I was doing. And then I took one of the pom-poms and put it in the middle because I kind of created a pocket. And then I just glued that to the bow. And that is all I did for this. Then all that's left is to just take our bow and glue it to our cute little bunny. And that is all I did for this. Look how cute that is. Okay, now that this bunny is ready to go, we're going to be adding all the pieces together. I'm going to start with the bunny, and again, because I lost my tumbling blocks sorry, I can't speak, my tumbling blocks, I'm going to be using this other scraps woods I have laying around. I just cut them all the same size. And first I was just gonna use 2 pieces, but it did not hold the bunny in place, so I had to add another one to make it a little thicker, and that worked a lot better. Now that my bunny is attached to the base, I'm going to add the wooden crates, and I will be using some hot glue for this. So I'm gonna glue each box to each side, and you could use wood glue. I was planning on using this for outdoors, but I end up changing my mind because I didn't have dirt and like actual plants to put in it. So that's when I decided to go with Spanish moss and just add some greenery to keep inside. Here I added some flowers, but I do end up changing it up later because I didn't like it with the flowers. And then I added these beautiful sparkly eggs that are my favorite. And yeah, that is all for this project. Let's take a look at the end result. For this project, I'm going to use this jar-like sign I picked up. You can either use some rub-on stickers like these, or you could use some vinyl decals. I'm going to use some vinyl decals. And then you need some white fabric and white paint. Okay, we're going to start with our little jar, and we're going to remove everything off of it. So the twine and also the metal top piece of it. Now I'm going to use my electric sander, and I'm going to remove everything off of this because we don't need it. We're going to give it a makeover, and we're going to make it a lot cuter than it is. Okay, now I'm going to take some white paint, and I'm going to paint this completely in this color. I just paint the front, which is the part I'm going to use, but feel free to paint the back as well if it bothers you. To me, it was okay, but it's definitely optional. Now I grabbed some white paper and a pencil, and I traced my bunny's feet, and I wanted to do the paws, but or the hands. I don't know what they're called, but anyway, it did not end up working out, so I just do the feet. I do 2 of them. I glued them onto this fabric that is actually a Dollar Tree towel, front and back, and then you're not going to be able to tell where the wavy parts are. So I end up doing like kind of like an oval shape, and this is what I got. I also end up doing the same thing for the ears. I just glue the paper inside so they can be a little bit more stiff, and then I use some burlap to create the bottom of the bunny's feet and these cute little pearls from Dollar Tree. So I'm just gluing it, the burlap, the pink burlap ribbon onto the what is going to be my bunny's feet, and then the pearls to point kind of where the fingers should be. I hope it makes sense. Now that is done, I do end up using some vinyl to cut bunny kisses and Easter wishes. And then once I do that, we're gonna rub it on there, and we're gonna place it to create our cute little sign. How cute is this? By the way, yes, that black vinyl is from Dollar Tree. How amazing is this? It did end up working out. Okay, now all I'm gonna do is glue my paws into place, or I guess my feet into place. And then if you're gonna make this stand, just make sure that you glue the little feet a little bit more up, because I did have to unglue them and then glue them back up to make sure that it was going to stand. And then I just glue my 2 ears and the middle part back, and then all that's left is to personalize it. I decided to use these cute little flowers that I picked up during the Valentine's season, and yeah, I just created a little crown on there, and I think it looks beautiful if you ask me. And that is all for this project. Now let's take a look at the end result. For this project, I'm using these bamboo rings, some raffia, some greenery, this beaded garland, as well as some ribbon. Now I'm going to start with the rings, and I'm going to be attaching them together with some hot glue first, and then I decided that that's probably not going to do the job, so I'm going to add something to tie around to make sure that these 2 rings are tied together. And then once that is done, I'm going to move on to the greenery, and yes, we're gonna trim it individually and then we'll leave it to the side. Now I decided to start with the ears, and that's where my beaded garland comes in. I cut 2 pieces, and as long as I think my ears need to be, and then all that's left, or the next step will be to attach them to our smaller ring. And these are going to be our ears, so you know, create them as long as you want them, and then I'll add some hot glue to make sure that they're secured. Then I'm gonna create a bow with the raffia, and I just wrapped it a few times. This is going to be as big as you want it. Once I have it as big as I need it, I'm gonna tie it in the middle with another piece from the same raffia. And then once that is done, I'm gonna take 2 of the pieces of greenery close to where my 2 rings are glued together and tied together, and then I'll add my raffia bow. And then I had this other pinkish greenery that I picked up during the fall season, and I decided to add it because I really love it. And then once that is done, I decided to create another bow with this other ribbon I had, and it's white, and I think it goes perfect with these neutral colors. Now I'm going to do the same to the top of this rabbit. It's going to have like a flower greenery slash crown, and I'm going to attach the greenery. And then I had this flower that these flowers are from Dollar Tree. I just decided to go with that white one, and then I added 2 of the purplish just because I think it goes well with the colors I'm using. And that is all for this project. It was very easy, turns out really cute. Now let's take a look. For this project, I'm using this candle holder pillar. I'm also going to be needing 1 of these bunnies, and I show you these beads, but in reality I end up using some eggs. I use this green raffia and something to stain or paint your wood. Okay, I'm going to start with the bunny, and the reason why I decided to stain it is because I really like how this bunny is drawn on it, and you know, staining it is still gonna show the shape and everything, so I love that. Okay, now I'm going to use 2 tumbling blocks, and these ones have seen better days. I randomly found them and I was like, perfect, just what I needed. So I'm gonna glue 1 to the front of the bunny and 1 to the back, and I'm not worried about it because that's gonna get covered up here in a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna cover these tumbling blocks with this raffia. Yay! So I add some hot glue, and I'm not gonna lie, this part is a little tricky. You're gonna have to use some hot glue to keep this raffia in place. But it ends up working out, trust me. Now I'm going to take again some hot glue, and I'm going to be gluing down my first layer. Now keep in mind, not every single strand is going to get glued, but as you wrap it around, it will keep it all together. I'm trying to make this look like a nest. I think I accomplished it, but I'm sure you will let me know in the comments down below. Now my second layer is not gonna get glued until the end when we trim the end and we glue it. But yeah, just kind of play around with it, move it around, see what works for you. I played around with it for a while. It was a lot of like wrapping and unwrapping until I got it or I got it to look like an actual nest, or at least to me. And then once I got there, I trimmed the ends, and I end up gluing the ends to the back of the bunny because I'm going to be seeing the front, not the back. Plus it gets covered, and you can even see it then. But anyways, so as you can see, I trimmed it, and then I'm adding some hot glue and gluing that piece to the back of the bunny, and then I just held it there for a few seconds to make sure it was dry. As you can see, it looks a little messy. Don't worry, I'm going to fix it. Now, some of these strands were sticking out a little bit too much, so I wrapped what I could, and what I couldn't wrap, I just cut it off, and it gave it the look I needed. Now I decided to add some color to this nest, and I added these cute pink flowers that I've been using throughout my videos. And as you can see, I did end up adding a little tail to my bunny. I used one of those white pom-poms, and I think I don't know, I really loved, and I really wanted to use it, so that's why I gave my bunny a tail, but definitely optional. Okay, as you can see, I'm adding I'm still cutting things off as I'm moving, but I end up using some of the same little cute flowers that I've been using as well, and I used on my last project. And to give it that extra touch of color and Easter, I added some of these foam eggs, and that is all I did for this project. I absolutely love it. Now let's take a look at the end result. Creative Squad, if you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. If you're not already, please subscribe before you leave. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know your favorite DIY in this video. And thank you so much for watching. If you are looking for more inspo, then check out one of these videos. See you on my next DIY.